He asks, what's the most meaningful metric for understanding true growth in the Ergo ecosystem? And goes through a couple of different options. I can say for me personally, the metric that I probably track the most is the hash rate. We're a proof of work chain, and that's where we derive our security. So that's something that, for me personally, I'm always kind of looking, okay, what is the network itself looking like? What's the security of the network? Are miners profitable? Because everything that is built on top of the Ergo ecosystem is dependent on the security that they bring to the table. If you get into some of the other metrics that are listed, TVL is a little bit wonky. Same with market cap, to be honest. You have, let's say, a set number, but that's not necessarily a reflection of liquidity. Sometimes you have projects, specifically in DEXs, that, you know, they have a very impressive market cap, and that's going to add to the total value that's locked, but it's not very liquid. So I don't think that it's always the best metric to gauge things by. Transactions per block is somewhat dependent on what's happening, right? You have events where you may have a new NFT project that drops, or a new token that comes out, and you have a surge in the network, and that's always going to kind of ebb and flow. The number of addresses are actually something that is hard to quantify, because we're UTXO, right? And I actually see this a lot in like broader metrics, where I have to ask the question, okay, if a firm is going to be, let's say, analyzing the amount of value that's being moved around in a UTXO, are they actually smart enough to realize that you always send your entire balance and then you get change back? And do they, let's say, reflect the value that's actually sent, or are they calculating the whole amount? Because you do have to subtract the change aspect of UTXOs, and I don't think that always happens, in my honest opinion. So it's important, if you're looking at that metric generally, to ask that question, because the reality is, with some, let's say, entities that report blockchain metrics, my suspicion is that doesn't always happen. And so you can say, oh, we moved an incredible amount of value, but, you know, if I bought something for, you know, a tiny amount, but I had to send my entire balance in order to work within UTXO, you know, if they didn't subtract the change, that's going to look a little sexier than it is. So keep that in mind.